Hello, guys and gals, Reaper here. Before I begin, yes, I am using text-to-speech. My mic quality was bad. I didn't get a chance to get my homies on to record with me, and I didn't want to make this a text-based video because of how my last video on King's World was made. You either have to deal with bad mic quality, or text-to-speech. Get over it. So, as some of you may recall, I got into beef with a bitch named King's World, now known as Divine Idiot, a much more fitting name might I add, and as I promised, I am finally here to respond to him. But first, I'll be going over some of his previously made versus-related videos, and showing why his content is complete human trash.
So SCP-3812, a voice behind me, should only scale to like high outer plus, basically high outer, and you can get them above characters that are high outer too. But versus Azathoth, no, I'm Michael, or Michael is here did a video saying that the voice behind me would win because he transcended like such characters, and so I say no, his evolution is not really instant, it's slow, and it took a while, but also Azathoth doesn't scale to high outer or just baseline outer, he scales to above characters like Sub-Niggurath and Neoleptotep, who are all boundless because they're basically archetypes and even beyond that. So Azathoth created all that, and so he should be like higher into boundless than even they are. So no, even like just looking at the Wicca, you could tell this, but yeah, Azathoth's in a different league.
If you think I edited any of that shit, I didn't. That was seriously his entire video. No sources, no scans, no counter-arguments for my video at all. Just
3812, high outer, Azzy boy, boundless, therefore Azzy boy be Winnie boy.
That's literally all he fucking does. How did this get likes again? You gotta love how people listen to him for putting zero effort into his content at all. Oh, wait, I can't make fun of his 12-year-old fan base, or he'll make a video attacking me for being a meaniehead.
Do you think you're so great with your maths and your science and your facts? What about feelings, huh?
Yeah. Feelings are more important than facts.
Yeah! This is wrong. You're all crazy.
Stop violating me with your different opinions.
Also 3812 is not below Swan's proposal anymore. Ben, who is a Swan entity, literally stated that 3812 had ascended him and the narratives and authors above him who viewed him as fiction. So even by your own dumbass logic, 3812 would still stomp. I also love how you got your daddy Splash to argue against 3812 for you, who is a rather popular scaler, but sure as hell not a credible one. For those who don't know, a sad rat known as Splash has a long history of misinformation regarding characters. He intentionally highballs or lowballs characters to piss people off. Sometimes he uses no limits fallacies, and other times, he just straight up lies.
So, that should mean Saint Killer's one-shot a suppressed presence. He also is able to KO the World Serpent with one punch.
Well, that was mildly terrifying. Maybe our presence is upsetting Jormungandr's belly.
No, something's wrong.
Nothing good. Quiet, that's over.
Is he getting hit? What is that?
We must hurry. Couldn't agree more, brother.
I find it extremely funny that you tried to call me out for using Omniversal Battlefield Wiki in a comment once, yet you're a-okay with using a source that is unreliable at best, and blatantly dishonest at worst.
So I'm about to nip some of this SCP wank in the bud, so of course the shit really doesn't transcend fiction and stuff like that. It's kind of just a metaverse. For instance, a lot of the things that happen in the verse, like they're supposed to scale outside of it. Whenever us as readers read files that they have mimetic kill agents designed to kill the readers, basically us, and well, we're not fucking dead. Like we don't die just from reading the shit because it's fiction and it's contained in that narrative, or any narrative that's written, even if it's like stated to be beyond the narratives, that's still just part of its fucking narrative. And then to go a step further, Swan's proposal, like at the end of that, it was a monster designed to kill the reader. I read the shit multiple times. I'm not dead. So, okay, that is.
Congrats, King's World. You actually bothered making a fucking argument this time. But when did they say that Swan's proposal was the physical real-life readers? You're acting like you just owned a bunch of SCP wankers. But all you did was state the obvious and act as if it debunks anything without even bothering to think about what people were actually saying. You can literally use this argument on any verse with a representation of the author and call it wank by that logic.
And then as far as like a voice behind me transcending the reader and shit like that, dead ass the author of that thing can just, or that site, that article, whatever you say, they can just dead ass go and edit the file to where that never happens, or where he can edit it and make it whatever he wants. He can delete the file, and even the site, like the actual people, that's the head of the sites, the admins and shit like that, they can just delete every single file and start from scratch again. So no, SCP doesn't scale above fiction, and it doesn't scale above the fucking writers and shit.
Do you see what I mean by this guy's lack of any talent or effort whatsoever? Instead of taking time to deconstruct and analyze every argument being made, he generalizes it, twists it, and then states the obvious.
It scales above maybe an inverse version of those writers, which is pretty much all you can really do in fiction. Like saying that you're above narratives, yeah, you're above narratives in your verse, and you're not above your own narrative. And even if you say you're above your own narrative, that's still your narrative. Like, stop the cap, bruh. Straight wing.
So aside from being a bitch, by bitching to your daddy Splash about 3812 getting wank for transcending infinite narratives, which isn't wank by the way, it's literally what he does, how does this intellectual entity respond to criticism directed at him from me?
Alright, what up guys? Been out of town for about a week, I guess. I ain't been really focusing on videos. But yeah, so this is gonna be the last time I address this topic. So the Master Reaper or whoever like decided to do like a, I guess, exposed on me or whatever the fuck.
You don't seem to know the difference between a debunk and an exposed video. If this video was an exposed video, I would have put exposed in the title.
And then he's gonna try to like debunk my videos, which is all fine and cool. Like my videos are always what I think at the time, or what feats I know relevant, or how I scale it.
I'm glad to hear that, King's World. I only hope you accept the criticism of this video in particular.
If you can disprove a point being this level, or prove one point being another level, fine, okay. Hey, you proved it. But like with the whole like beef stuff, he really took that out of context. Like the thing is, I can admit that I was wrong about the Emperor being like only low complex multi or high complex multi. I seen some feats, but as I will show you in these screenshots, like I didn't see his information that he was sending, and I even said that, and he skipped that whole part.
Are you sure about that?
Let's go over to this site. And as far as your video, like, nah, I just disagree with it. Like, there's some stuff that I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe you showed the screenshot now, but I didn't have that link whenever we was talking. And also, I didn't just instantly come at you cursing. Like, don't even do that. Like, I was trying to be as nice as possible, and I was basically just asking you for stuff because you basically came to my videos like, nah, this is true and this is not true. And I was like, okay, where's your proof? And I couldn't see your fucking proof. And then you went on a whole big ass thing about, oh, go read my comments.
By a whole big ass thing, he of course means one fucking comment where he could have easily clarified that he couldn't see the proof, even though he said the proof I showed didn't prove anything, and literally brought up what was stated in the proof.
Yeah, fuck that. You have some of your little friends, and then you send some of like your friends, or your friend just decide to be obligated to come over here, or a fan or whatever decide to just come to my video and be like, you a coward or you don't accept this debate or some shit like that. And I was just thinking like, what the fuck he talking about? I go to your video and see it, like you do all that shit and say all this shit, and then you be like at the end of the video like, oh yeah, or in the comments, I'll be waiting for you in Discord. Like, fuck out of here, bro. You didn't even like come to me, you just made a fucking video.
Says the guy who instantly resorted to making an exposed video on me, after I simply told him to look back over the proof that he literally stated he had read. and then simply corrected a grammar error he made. Also, King's World, how the fuck was I supposed to come to you when you had me blocked? Just curious. Anyways, since that's really all I have left to say about this sensitive bitch, I will just say, don't be that guy, and credit any integrity towards this lazy sensitive loser. He is simply lazy, and an absolute disgrace to content creators with talent who actually put time and effort into their content. Unlike King's World, just don't be him. And with that, I am out of here.